God damn, I'm old.
So awesome.
This video is brought to you by all my Patreon supporters. Go Team Awesome! Because so peeps, it's Oz. So today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I got in the comment section by somebody named Artistry Mind Studios. He commented and asked, how long have I lived in Japan? He's still a teenager and he's thinking about coming to Japan someday and teaching English. Actually, when I started YouTubing, he was only 7 years old. God damn, I'm old. So a lot of you have been watching me since I first started YouTubing, but there's also some new people as well. So here's my history in Japan, if you're interested. But before I begin, did I mention I have a free newsletter? I send out this newsletter about once a month. In the newsletter, it answers questions about Japan. There's links to videos that are not available on YouTube, as well as articles about Japan, and some other bonus information as well. Once again, it's free and all you have to do is subscribe to it. The link is in the information section below. Okay, so let's take a look at my history. So originally I wanted to apply for the JET program. If you don't know what the JET program is, it's an exchange with the government has with many English speaking countries where they bring people to become ALTs in different parts of Japan. And ALT stands for Assistant Language Teacher. It's elite and it's difficult to get into, so I wanted to try. However, I was lazy and I missed the deadline. And I didn't want to wait another year, so I applied to private eikaiwas or private English conversation schools, Eon, ECC, and Nova. I got offered interviews, but I only went to the Eon one. I went to the Toronto office, interviewed, and got accepted on the same day. A month later, I was on a plane to Nagoya, a city in Japan that I'd never even heard of. So I spent the first year and a half teaching in Nagoya in the Eon school located in Sakai, which is like the main downtown city of Nagoya. And since it was an adult school, I mostly taught students that were from junior high school, university, and up. And after I finished the year and a half with Eon as the teacher at Sakai, I decided to become an ET. ET phone home. Not that ET. ET stands for emergency teacher. It's kind of like a substitute teacher. I was sent to schools when a teacher was absent because they were sick or they were on vacation, or they secretly left at night and abandoned their school and went back to their country, which happens more than you think. And while I was at Eon, that's where I met my wife. She was actually a manager at one of the Eon schools, and after she quit Eon and after I quit Eon, we started dating. After Eon, I decided to work at a kindergarten company where I would teach at kindergarten schools around Nagoya area. It was actually a pretty good job. It paid a lot more than Eon did, but it was just very tiring and moving around all the time with kids, and I was kind of done with it. So I quit that job and I decided to move back to Canada. So I got married and I moved back to Canada, but instead of moving back to Toronto, where I'm originally from, we moved to Vancouver. The reason was it was kind of because it would be a new city for both of us, as well as the fact that there's a lot of Japanese people in Vancouver. In Vancouver, I ended up working for Bell Mobility, which is like a telephone company, and I was doing customer service over the phone. So it wasn't a very good job and the pay wasn't very good. And also my wife at the time, she didn't have a Canadian working visa. So she was stuck at home being a housewife. We were living in a basement apartment. We were paying tons of rent because Vancouver is very expensive. My salary wasn't very high, so we couldn't really enjoy our life there. And it was always raining all the time, and I just didn't really like Vancouver City that much. So we decided to move to Toronto. Luckily in Toronto, one of my friends, April, who was working at a recruiting company at the time, she got me a job to work at City TV, the TV station in downtown Toronto. Thanks, April. It wasn't anything like creative or anything. It was just like a contracts and data entry kind of job, but it actually had a really good salary. That's when we got my dog Maple, who you've probably seen in a lot of my videos. We also bought a condo and moved to a really nice trendy area of downtown Toronto before the huge real estate boom and everything cost millions of dollars. But despite my wife, despite my dog, despite my condo, and despite my decent job, I just wasn't happy. I kept feeling like I wanted to live in Japan again. Also, my original idea to go to Japan was using the JET program, but I hadn't done it, so I kind of wanted to see if I could do my original plan. So I applied, and I was put on the waiting list, which kind of sucks. And I was kind of disappointed because I thought my Japanese was better than a lot of the other applicants, and my experience, of course, being a teacher in Japan was better than a lot of the applicants. But I guess JET is looking for people who are like young and fresh and who have never been to Japan. But then March 11 happened with the earthquake and the tsunami and all the Fukushima stuff, and everyone panicked, and a lot of the young people who had got accepted said fuck that, and they backed out. And the day after the earthquake, I got a call and I was asked to go to Japan to teach English. So I accepted. I sold my condo, I got my wife and my dog ready, and we headed to Hokkaido in a very small town called Takikawa. I was an ALT there. Life was good. It was cold. It was kind of like in the middle of nowhere, so it's a very like isolated area, but I enjoyed it a lot. I improved my Japanese there, I joined a Japanese band, and I even saw the Sapporo Snow Festival twice. And though I was happy, unfortunately, because of the isolation and because of the remoteness of the area, my wife couldn't really find a good job and she wasn't very happy. And I think we both kind of knew we were drifting apart. So we got divorced and she moved back to Nagoya. And I moved to Chiba. In Chiba, I ended up contacting the same kindergarten company I used to work for in Nagoya and asked them if they were hiring. And I interviewed with them and I got a job in Chiba doing pretty much the same thing I was doing in Nagoya, going around to different kindergartens in Tokyo and Chiba and teaching English to little kids. And I did that for about 6 years. But the commute, my health, and just me wanting a change, I decided to quit that kindergarten job and look for another job. In Chiba, I was also dating a girl and I broke up with her as well. So it was kind of a good time for a fresh start. And I got a job still in Chiba, but a little bit smaller town in Chiba as an ALT. This time though, it was not with the JET program or with any of those dispatch companies, because those dispatch companies take a huge cut and they don't really support you that much, and I heard a lot of bad stories about dispatch companies, so I didn't want to work for them, so I got a direct hire from the Board of Education. I think it's the best decision I ever made. I just finishing my 2nd year with them and I was accepted to do a 3rd. With a little bit increased salary, more vacation days, and 2 bonuses that are very rare for foreigners, it's a really good place to work. And to top it off, if you haven't seen my last few videos, my girlfriend Mayu also moved in with me. So I think that brings us to now. Despite Corona and the state of emergency and all the crazy things that have been going on around the world, I'm surprisingly doing quite well. I have steady employment with a decent salary, I'm healthy, and I'm continuing my YouTubing, writing, and teaching. I'm very blessed and I appreciate all the good things that have come to me. And the bad things too. There was ups and there was downs, but it all in the end left me to where I am now. Talking to you about my life and sharing experiences in Japan. Thanks to you guys, I can reflect on my life, look back at all the good things and the bad things that have happened to me. And despite not being rich or tall or famous or good looking, I'm content and happy. Each day seems better than the next, and hopefully it'll continue like this until I'm just videos and articles left on the internet. Wow, that got dark fast. Anyway, thanks for the question and hopefully I answered it in a long and roundabout way. Also, thanks everybody for watching and supporting me all this time. If you want to support me even more, you can 1. Thumbs up, 2. Leave a comment, 3. Subscribe to my channel, 4. Subscribe to my newsletter, and 5. Support me on Patreon. For as little as $1, you can get videos that are not available on YouTube. A lot of them are unedited or talk about things that I don't really share with the rest of the people on YouTube. It's kind of like you can read my private diary. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm OzzyAwesome. Take care. Peace.
ねえ、ぽーくん、ビーフストロガーフ食べたことある？ポークストロガーフ食べたことある？ Do you 散歩？行く？